Welcome to Your View. It's Monday. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how was your weekend, BC?
A cool lockdown.
Seriously?
Right.
Yeah, so we're still in the lockdown mode, and God has been faithful. But I'm just wondering, because I see a lot of people, going out, and a lot of them coming out to do exercises in the morning, and I don't see that much
Social
of
distancing.
social distancing. And I'm wondering, why would they be doing that? Aren't we supposed to be at home? Stay within your family, because you're mixing with people in as much as you people are doing exercises together. I just want us to be very careful. But Nima sent me something. Is it a fan from...
Sent all of us, actually.
Yes. So the fan says, you guys are doing a great job on Your View. I always want to call in, but the time difference won't allow me. My daughter's birthday is coming up today, 6th of April, and we want to give a shout out to her. So I want to get the daughter's name.
I know that.
Oluwadumininu.
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 Oluwadumininu, treasure.
Happy
birthday. You're my mom's birthday mate, because today is my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, so I was, I am very, my mom, I feel very blessed to have my mom as my mom. I know that many things, many blessings I've benefited is based on the blessings of having a praying mother. So if there's anything, my mother is a mother of everybody. I know a lot of my friends that have become, they call my mom on a daily basis. My friend in the UK, Ireti, talks to my mom more than she even talks to me. She's like, even, there's this Tolu in TVC. She and my mom, they say they're praying together. I'm wondering,
When did that one start?
When did that one start? Like, she's my mother. Your mommy is my mommy. She's my mommy. And that's the way that's the kind of mother that I grew up with.
Yeah.
She has the heart for helping everybody, helping the needy. That's always been her case. Even yesterday, she was saying, we need to buy bread for your security men. I'm wondering. But that's the way she is. I'm happy birthday, mommy. I'm blessed to have you in my life. God bless you.
God bless you.
You will live long, many more years in good health.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
And you eat the fruits of your labor.
Yes, so you will.
So
you will.
I'm
You
sure
will
the
live long
little
to
girl, Oluwadumininu, is
yes,
watching. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too.
So,
Mariah,
I'm fine.
Echo lockdown.
Yes,
What's
so,
happening? Is there any difference? Because I'm not honestly,
We were just singing and dancing in my house. Trust me, there were more videos. We just took one. We just had nothing else to do.
Sunday morning, I was
Sunday
like,
morning,
okay.
we had our in-house worship, because Pem was the pastor.
Yes.
I preached some. So we had the praise worship. We
pastor and
went,
choir master.
all of us, we did everything together. So after that worship, we now decided to continue.
Okay.
Then we started singing some old classical
Old school
songs.
song, and you were feeling it.
Man. You need to revive.
Sometimes
Sonny and Obey are the songs you be singing at this
Yeah.
time, because they most of their songs are actually worship and praise songs.
worship and praise, and then loaded with lessons.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No, but it's just that we just moved from those kind of songs where every song is a message
has a
to help
meaning.
you, like reinstating your value.
So I'm
We
trying
don't
to
have
get
that anymore.
I'm trying to get something.
A compilation.
Not a compilation, yes, and then start playing it in my house every day. So the children start getting used to
those
listening
values,
to the
It's
songs,
good. It's
to
a
help
good
their
one.
Yoruba
It's
also.
good.
And my project this lockdown is that you must speak Yoruba, and they understand, but they can't speak it well. So we are trying to get them to start speaking.
You've gotten,
so
you've moved.
no,
We
they
don't
are
even
fine.
understand.
At the end of this lockdown, my children can be able to speak proper Yoruba.
Cool.
I'm working so hard on that.
I'm happy for you.
Anyways, let's go on a break. This weekend, trust me, everybody has become an expert on one thing or the other, either on COVID-19 or 5G. I mean, it's a whole gamut of information this weekend.
Yes,
But let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to break everything up in pieces so that you can understand. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, let's start with the punch today. FCT Lagos Ogun communities ignore Buhari's lockdown order. Says hunger will not allow us to stay home, Lagos resident. 36-year-old dies as coronavirus figure jumps to 232. Don't bring Chinese doctors, enemy nurses, warn federal government. Still in punch. Lagos security guard neighbor arrested for defiling minors. Air Peace delivers FG's medical supplies from Turkey. No plan to cancel Ondo LG poll. UITH probes professor over death of the COVID-19 patient. Consulate compiles stranded Nigerians' names in America for evacuation. Gas shortage stalls over 10,000 megawatts in 3 days. Okay, which story are we taking in Punch?
The human interest.
Well, let's start with the human interest, yes.
Yes, so this particular Christian Chikeze has been arrested, though his age was not mentioned in the papers, been arrested for defiling a minor. So what happened was that the mother of the young girl was ill, and so I think she wanted to go to the hospital. She left the daughter in the care of one Mercy in the compound, only for her to get back and realize that her daughter was not in Mercy's room, but in Chikeze's, was just coming out of Chikeze's room, and she reported that she was being defiled and molested. So she quickly took her to the hospital to, you know, their investigations are ongoing. They realize it's true. He's been picked up. The Chikeze guy has been arrested, and hopefully he will be prosecuted for it.
I want to take the University of Ilori Teaching Hospital. Okay. So, an accountant, Alaji Jimo Muideen, is a chartered accountant. He was brought into the hospital by his relative, a professor in that hospital. And this professor did not mention that the man just returned from the UK with his wife. So the man was brought in, treated, and later died. So now there's an investigation ongoing. The University of Ilori Teaching Hospital is going to investigate into this professor that brought the man in, and they are now having to isolate everybody that came in contact with the man. The professor knew that he came from the UK, knew that he was having corona-related symptoms, but did not disclose to the hospital. So they treated the man privately, and the man died. That level of information, and it's happening everywhere. People will go into the hospital without disclosing their history. It's terrible. We must, as our own people, protect ourselves, especially these people on the front line.
I was going to mention the major headline, which, because Nigerians are complaining, FCT Lagos Ogun communities ignore Buhari's lockdown order, because many are saying that they're hungry, they have to take to the streets. And the palliatives were obviously not enough, because people are complaining that, how do you expect us to share
a loaf of bread?
A loaf of bread or 2 bags of gari and rice. But there's another story that caught my attention, but I have to move on to The Nation. Virus, 33 doctors, nurses in isolation after contacts. Picture here of the Pope holds Palm Sunday in empty basilica. Wike lashes federal government over handling of coronavirus. Akindele arrested, Naira Marley wanted. Osun discharges patients, 109 returnees. Okay. The major headline.
Yes, so about 33 doctors across, like one of the stories Topper just took now about the teaching hospital in Ilori, also with the teaching hospital as well in Benin, UBTH, about 25 doctors were put in isolation, because what happened was somebody came into the hospital who just came back and didn't mention it. So one of them died, 2 of them were, and all the doctors and nurses that were associated are being isolation. So if you, in a hospital, you take out 25 doctors to be in isolation, who do you have left to work with? So the National Association of Resident Doctors are saying that we do not even have enough protective gear for these doctors to see these patients. And if this continue, they may have to withdraw their services. This is not the time we're going to have doctors withdrawing their services.
They say we don't have enough, but every hospital is now a front line. Every hospital should have protective gear, because you don't know who is going to come into your place. Osun State is saying that they've discharged 109 foreign returnees. So the good thing that happened was immediately the foreigners came into Osun State. They put them in isolation and tested all of them. And all of them tested negative. One of the index case in Osun has been discharged because twice it's been tested negative. It was positive before. It was in isolation and treated within the isolation facility in Osun State. Upon treatment, he is now negative. So he's also been released. So that means about 110 people have been released from Osun State. But the weakest story touched me.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay, please take it.
I wanted to quote him. So Governor Funke is saying that the federal government has politicized this issue of coronavirus. In his exact words, it's quite unfortunate that the containment of coronavirus has been politicized. While Lagos State has received 10 billion naira, Rivers State, as the nation's oil and gas hub that produces a greater percentage of the nation's wealth, has not received any support from the federal government. That's his grouse.
So for me, that sentence is the politicizing of coronavirus and the where funds are being shared. People are jostling for money. People are jostling for money. When we have lost lives, even if it's just 4, we've lost 4 lives in Nigeria, and a governor is speaking up that they have 1 case in Rivers compared to Lagos that has over 100 cases.
No, his own issue is that all the foreigners that come into this country, it is my state they are coming to. What if they actually eventually have another case? How would I handle it? I need support.
Outbreak. But you wouldn't don't blame him, because if the money was given to the federal government of Nigeria to share, it should be shared equally.
No, this is federal government's money. Remember, they got 15 billion.
Okay.
They said Lagos take 10.
Okay.
5 billion was then shared
Because
to the
we
other
have more
states.
cases.
Based on the cases we have.
Yeah, so priority should be placed on where the hot spots, and Lagos is a hot spot right now. So let's not focus, let's not politicize this situation.
But his
Let's
state
just
has
focus.
money.
Let
We'll be
us
all
move on to Daily Sun. Governor Wike.
Governor
This is where.
Wike,
You'll be
I
fine.
expect more.
Daily Sun. COVID-19 cases rise to 232 with another death. Lockdown, Lagos, Ogun, Abuja to lose 1.6 trillion. Christians celebrate Palm Sunday indoors. Bishop Chukwuma dares government, holds church service, vows not to shut down his church. Serap asked federal government CBN to provide spending details on relief funds and school feeding. That's Serap asking for. Yes, who has that story?
So I have
Go ahead.
this story. So the SRAP has written to the federal government, and they're asking for freedom of information. That's the title of the petition that they've written to the federal government, saying that they want to get a report of all the monies that are being collected on behalf of this COVID-19 and spent, and all of those projects they had, which is the school feeding, how many people they have as workers, cooks in the schools, if the schools are closed, how many people did they actually feed, and, you know, just to give a detailed report of all the beneficiaries of the funds for
And
the
they've actually asked for over a week now.
Yes, and they're saying that they are giving them 7 days. If this report is not gotten or given to them, they would, you know, do something about it to ensure, because this is not a charity case as it is. This is a right for the Nigerians. So they are expected to all have gotten, because they are receiving news that a lot of them have not gotten these monies they are talking about. And they should not even be giving them cash. They should use their BVN to send the money
these things since last
to their account so that they can
They've already shared.
Yes.
They've already
shared
shared.
the money already.
They've shared. They said about they've shared a large chunk of this money, and it was given out as cash, so we cannot trace it. There's nothing we can do.
Let me take Bishop Chukwuma, because I want to continue. I want to finish up the story.
Take Bishop. I want to take the Palm Sunday because it's
Bishop
all together.
Chukwuma, the Archbishop of Enugu Province and Bishop of Enugu Anglican Diocese, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, said yesterday, let me quote him, please. He said, it is unfortunate and wrong to categorize church and worship centers with drinking parlors, nightclubs, marketplaces, and companies. The cleric said that churches will not shut because he is not the owner of the church. God is the owner of the church. At these times like this is when the world is in confusion. Where else do you want them to run for safety?
I can understand the sentiment, but if the Pope conducted Palm Sunday to an empty auditorium, basilica, then we should understand the gravity of the situation. Yes, they need comfort. I need comfort, and I would like to hear the word of God. But thankfully, we have technology. Bishop, use technology to spread the comfort.
Okay, but they always say that we are the church and not the building. Why the emphasis on people coming to the building together? You are the church, so you can have God with you everywhere you go. You don't necessarily have to come to a building. Why the emphasis on we must come, we must gather? Why?
This is the Archbishop.
She has answered the question.
This is the Archbishop. They don't do tithe and offering in that kind of church. It's Pentecostal.
No, they do tithe. Every church does tithe. Yes, they do tithe and offering. It's written. Everybody does tithe.
Everybody does.
No, everybody does tithe.
Oh, okay. Anyways, but I don't believe the Archbishop is driving at the tithe and offering. He is just
what he said
that
was
we are the solution. Moving on to Vanguard. COVID-19, NMA, NARD, tackle 5G on Chinese doctors. We talked about that already. Ondo community police trade wars over strange helicopter. Lockdown, police arrest Nollywood star Funke Akindele for hosting house party. Dangote Cement moves investors with 100 billion naira issue. And FG lost 240 billion naira to electricity firms for unused power. Okay, what happened in Ondo?
Yes, so I think last week the residents lost a rice farmer, Jacob Oduche, and his son in the farm. So they were allegedly murdered by herdsmen. So they are saying that they also saw a helicopter that landed in that area and was dropping arms to the herdsmen for them to, you know, have their fights. But the police is saying that it wasn't actually, no, it was a member of the community who was saying that it wasn't actually weapons that this helicopter brought, that they probably came to pick up some marijuana from the farm. So, you know, there's been this battle of words that, you know, it's weapons, it's not weapons. So investigations are ongoing right now. Let's know what exactly is happening in that town.
Okay, we have to run off, but let me just take the headlines for the Nigerian Tribune. Unusual Palm Sunday as Christians celebrate in near empty churches. Let's find a story we've not taken. We'll discuss it from Akindele a bit later, so let's move on. The Guardian. Outrage over government's move to invite Chinese doctors. That's a big story. Yes, COVID-19 lockdown stalls Palm Sunday. So we've had, I think, was it the federal government or the NMA?
The NMA is speaking.
We're saying that they don't want this doctor. Who has that story, please?
Their focus is on that we don't have enough. One, you haven't properly taken care of the doctors on ground.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even consult us before going to approve that you want Chinese doctors to come in. And I think that we cannot disrespect them because no matter how many Chinese doctors comes in, they cannot match the number of enemy doctors on ground. So let's listen to them, and the government should find a way to give them what they need. They need protective gear.
They're also saying that the Chinese government has not really been, we've had speculations that they are the cause, they have not been honest, they've not been open with exactly what is happening with this coronavirus. So you can't just bring them and push them to us as it is.
And also another conspiracy theory they added to that conversation is that, they heard though, that was when China went to Italy, that things got bad. They should please not bring these Chinese people here. We can't confirm that story, but that is what they said. Yeah. That was after those Chinese guys went to Italy that Italy's numbers became really, really worse. And they don't want the same thing to happen in Nigeria. Themselves. On that note, we are going to end the front page review. When we come back, Funke Akindele is in the news. Let's hear your thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So over the weekend, actually, celebrity actor Funke Akindele and her husband, popularly known as JJC Skills, were called out on social media for celebrating her husband's birthday party in their house. A lot of people were disappointed, especially the fact that Funke Akindele, who has been seen as the forefront of the campaign to keep safe in this COVID-19 season, although she has put out an apology to Nigerians, lots of Nigerians are still not happy with what happened. Before I show the clip, I'd like us to hear your thoughts on it because we want the producers to show the clip of the party and then also where she apologized. I know they're trying to see if they can get the video on the screen for us, but your thoughts. So there was a party, for those of you that have not seen the video, there was a party, lots of drinks, alcohol, there was a room full of obviously young people, and we saw Naira Marley there, we saw her husband, I'm trying to see the other adults, probably her siblings, possibly a few ladies that looked like her there, and they were obviously beyond, there were more than the 20, which was limited, which is the law in the Lagos state right now that you can't have more than a gathering of 20 people at that party. So, in your view, let me start with you, UBC. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I see the party in these times as an offense because we are already having a lockdown and the federal government has given that directive that people should be in their houses. Everybody's trying as much as possible to curtail the spread of this COVID-19. So the party in itself is an offense, whether it's a birthday celebration or whatever it is. Now, the posting of the video on social media is the irresponsibility. You have done a party that you're not supposed to do at this moment. Why put it out there for whatever reason? Are you rubbing it in our face that some people are more equal than others? Because this is you. They've talked about her doing the advertisement, telling people to wash their hands, do this and all of that. We expect her to know better. So you've made a mistake already because you have people in your house who you are still working, you didn't let them go even during the lockdown to do a party. That's fine. You now put it out. So what are you expecting people to do about it? That's what I see.
So she sent out an apology, and again, I'll get the producers to show either the clip of both the party and then the apology. We'll watch that in a moment. But in her apology, she's saying that all of us have been at crews. I've been a crew member of at least a production where we understand that you have to stay there for weeks and months. I've not been in production at least a month. And according to her husband, those guys have been there for about a month. They have a studio in Amen Estate.
Yes,
where
multiple buildings.
And they are there.
Where they shoot.
And they stay there, and they happen to be there after the lockdown was already announced. They couldn't go. Many of them, according to her, are out of state, so they couldn't go back home. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, yes, you had that gathering, but people are angry that why was there a party? In your view,
of course there would have been a party. There should be a party. I'm going to have a party at home when I get home today because my mom's birthday is today. We are used to celebrating and having parties. So for me, it's not really about the party per se, honestly, because we would have parties. People have been doing small weddings even within this COVID-19, people are, birthdays are being celebrated across. People are, someone will call me and say, hey, I'm having a Sabbath, can you come and do my makeup for me in my house? People are still doing this thing, trying to find a way to have as much fun within the restriction. Like, okay, everybody's talking about COVID. Can I still live a bit? I don't have any issue with her having a party.
Right.
I don't have issue with her posting the party. I have issues with the fact that it is beyond the number. So as long as the videos show that they were beyond 20 then, there wasn't social distancing, nobody was wearing nose mask. So for me, there are many things, like we're not taking cognizance of the fact that there is a pandemic going on out there, and there are people that you might not, there are asymptomatic people that might have issues. So one, there wasn't social distancing. Everybody was cramped together.
Okay, but I'll come back to you, BC. Okay, let me compartmentalize what you just said, because I was saying to myself, if she says that they have buildings where these guys are staying, and she's making lunch for them, for example, if everybody comes to her house for lunch, whether you like it or not, there'll be a party. Because what's a party? More than 2 people.
Yes.
So if the number of crew members come into her main house to eat dinner that day, now without us recording that event as a dinner, not a party, just we're having lunch, we'll think she's having a party. So whether we like it or not,
I agree,
she has a party
argument
every
was
day.
plausible and it was believable. And when her apology was looked very sincere. Some people say, oh, she's an actress, she would act it. It looked very sincere, and it was a believable argument. And indeed, on a normal day, Funke Akindele's house regularly is like a beehive of activities. That's the kind of person she is. So I don't have any, like I said, I don't have any issue with it. What people are complaining about is that, can we prove that everybody in that video reside within a series of apartments?
Okay, so I'm told we have a clip now. I'll come to you, BC. Let me show this clip. I'm not sure which one of the clips we have. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Funke Akindele Bello, an actress, one of the CEOs of Same One Production. I've seen all the messages on social media, and I must say I will not intentionally mislead people, which is why I want to explain what happened yesterday. Truly, yesterday was my husband's birthday, and both of us run Same One Studios, which is located in MN Estate where we live. We have studios running to like 12 in there. We have interior, exterior. We build sets there. We build road, markets. That's where we film Jennifer's Diary. All our content, Ayeto Road Town and the rest. So before the pandemic, coronavirus pandemic, we all work together here. We have a strength of 100 workers, but not all 100 are here now. So this is where everybody works. And we shoot a lot of content. So when the pandemic started, we had to stop all production, including Omogeto the Saga, which is our new project, which was supposed to start April. But before the lockdown was announced by our president, some youths have been in boot camp here in MN Estate, rehearsing, singing, dancing. Majority of the youths are those you saw in the video. So when the lockdown was announced, some of the staff, not all of them, live outside Lagos. And they can't go.
Okay, so we pretty much get the point. BC, go ahead.
For me, the reason given while she's giving this apology is not plausible enough. Because the truth is, we've already had a kind of lockdown in Lagos State even before the federal government went ahead to give that general lockdown. Now, it is wise for anyone who hears that, because remember that this lockdown was, the directive for the lockdown was given 7 p.m. on Sunday. You still had the whole of Monday. It was to be effected 11 p.m. on Monday. If you were serious about telling people, we can't do this, you have to go home. And even if you are traveling to Kafanchan from morning till evening on Monday, please, you would have been able to go home if you were serious about it. Now, let's not forget that Funke is seen as a role model. Now, what she's telling people is that it's okay for us to have an excuse to do what we're supposed to do. It's an order, a directive. No, but the reason churches were closed, the reason schools were closed, the reason offices were closed is that we don't want people together, because you don't know
I hear your
who
point.
has met who, who has touched who.
Let me try to respond to what you just said. Now, Funke Akindele, for example, she's somebody, as you said, she's a role model. She's helping young people from across different states, not in Lagos. Many of them don't have fathers, don't have mothers, don't have anybody taking care of them. This is the only person that is feeding them. She is the one that is taking care of everything about them. So they've come in from different parts of the state, and they say, you know what, I'm not going anywhere, ma. I'm here. We'll do whatever it is we can do here. They are there. She told you that she has over 100 staff. Half of them, obviously, most of them have gone home. Only about less than maybe 20 or so are staying in her house. So this is a woman that is actually helping people. And let us even bring this conversation home. This is Africa. We try to keep... I personally have a problem with us trying to not localizing the solution. We are hearing social distancing. We're hearing stay at home. But this is Africa. My electrician has 5 wives in one house. He tells me in a day that he has 16 children in his own house. That's minus the wives. They're his children. So if he calls his 16 children, his 5 wives, he's maybe those in this face me compound, that's already past 20 people already. The point is, let us say we want to do social distancing in Africa. Somehow we must also put into consideration the family type that we have in Africa. So whether you like it or not, Funke Akindele is beyond just Funke Akindele. She's actually helping those young people staying in our house, doing some work. That's the reason.
Let me quickly just say this, because when we talk about, people can go and get to their house, it's beyond getting to their house. People know, the people that stay back at the scene, one production owned by Funke Akindele, they know that Funke Akindele will feed them.
Yes.
They know that they won't have to worry about food, water, or light, or anything. So there is a reason for them to stay behind. Many essential services that are still ongoing, the supermarkets, the restaurants, they're providing accommodation for their staff, so that they can continue to run businesses. Let's not be blind to it. So I know, I definitely, even she took responsibility. What Funke Akindele did was wrong. Double wrong by posting it. We are all on the same page. She shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
Whatever should have been done should have been kept even close. The Funke Akindele family alone is up to 20. If we even want to count them. But the celebrities inside there was the issue, and the drinking of alcohol and all of that largesse being going on when people are suffering. So that was why Nigerians like pulling people down. So when we see that they are suffering,
everybody in their house
let me land
drinking.
Let me land this point. What I'm trying to say is that when people are suffering outside now, but we cannot eat, we're not making money. We now see somebody else living large. The idea of pull him down, pull her down comes to play, because we want all of us to suffer together. So because they are seeing Funke Akindele having fun in the midst of this COVID-19, people are harassing her. I don't think she should get a soft landing. I think that she should serve in one way or the other. Maybe not pay the 1 million, whatever. She should be made to serve. She should be punished for her wrong action, because there was a wrong action, and to be an example, not a scapegoat. An example that others should not go free.
What's the difference between an example and a scapegoat?
Okay.
So for me, the reason you have to be seen to be just is so that you are not called biased tomorrow, because it could have happened to any other person, and then how you react to that person determines how people would talk about it tomorrow. We are trying as much as possible to, what's this word? To make people aware that this is a pandemic. This is serious. We need to take this issue seriously. So no matter whether you are feeding 15 people or you're feeding 18 people, we don't care. Don't put it in the fore as somebody who is standing there that people are looking up to. Tomorrow I'll go and do a party and say, after all, Funke Akindele threw a party and nobody came after her. We are telling people not to go outside, to be in their houses. We're telling people not to come to work. We're telling people to stay at home. Don't even go to a place of worship, but you can go to a place and eat and drink what she said.
Let me respond to BC. What I am telling you in response to that, she did not throw a party like that. You can look at it in different ways.
Okay.
As I said it, if she was making dinner for that group of people, you would think it's a party. Remove the alcohol, remove the dancing. It is lunchtime or it's dinner time. The point is that there are people in the house, and we know rich men in this place, in this country, that have multiple wives. And imagine somebody's 80th, doing, maybe a rich man now is doing 80th in this pandemic, in this lockdown. He won't call all his 50 children together in the house and have a lunch.
You're not even supposed to.
No, they're in his house. They live in his house.
If they're living in his house, that's a different thing.
So how do you differentiate that with this one? My 50 children, I am allergic XYZ. I'm living in this house. My 50 children live in this house. We're in Africa, for heaven's sakes.
Okay.
I will not call them for lunch. You're not telling me because of pandemic we shouldn't sit down for lunch. The point is that I'm not saying it is wrong, and I'm not saying that Funke is right. She's wrong for posting it, very, very wrong and irresponsible. And I think she has accepted that responsibility. But at the same time, don't crucify her because she's the only one.
See the video before talking. Honestly, at the end of the day, the video of the party. Because when you see the party video, it was a parlor in-house party of mainly family members and small children. If you see the video,
let me have this call.
If you see that video, you will know that it was not a big occasion.
Let me take this call. Then please take a few tweets, please. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling, please. Go ahead.
Okay, so for Funke Akindele's video, for me, I think people are being too judgmental about the fact that she came out and put a video out there. Yes, it's a bit inconsiderate because people are in a lockdown.
Yeah.
People are being put in one place, not doing their regular activity, and people are a bit upset by that, yes. But she also has the right to celebrate if she wants to celebrate. Make herself happy, her husband happy, regardless of what's going on. But do that in the confines of what the restriction says, not more than 20 people. There's another video of Mr. Padamosi coming out to speak that they came from their house to the party as well and apologizing to people. So that's people coming to the party. That's going against the confines of the restriction. And I think Funke has come out to apologize. Yeah. She's explained what are reasons for doing what she did and everything. But I think people should just let it.
All right. We have to wrap up on this, but I would like to take a few tweets.
Yes, I have a tweet here. Ibeneme says, honestly, Funke, Jennifer messed up with the party. Everyone in that party should be quarantined for 14 days. That is why we should not use anyone as brand ambassadors. They have no excuses. I like her a lot, but I'm disappointed. I want to finally say that in as much as we are saying she's very responsible and love, I think people should...
Omoluabi grade 1.
Yes,
grade 1.
Yes, we agree. So but you know, there's always a time where somebody makes a mistake, and I'm happy that she came out to say, I actually made a mistake. Right. I should be forgiven.
And she said that.
Yes, but the reason she gave for me is not plausible enough, and I believe that the punishment for what she has done, she has to be able to take that punishment to, you know, more like show an example to other people that no matter who you are, if you do something you're not supposed to do at the time you have done it, you should stand and take your...
And as I wrap up, I'll just have to remind you. Okay, go ahead.
Festus Akimbo Oyewa says, COVID-19 is ripping through our population and has destroyed our economy. Also, thousands of people are dying of COVID-19 every day. It's morally reprehensible to host a birthday party when there are many more birthdays to celebrate in the future. Badige Shodanibadi said, so before the lockdown, all those crew members could not go home. Funke should just stop insulting our sensibility. So she could not tell the crew not to gather. Maiwa Yabo says, how do you expect to have a party and observe social distance? And the whole guideline put in place to curtail pandemic. Bolahon says, Funke should have been circumspect. It is bad enough that the party is against the COVID-19 pandemic and the recently signed law in Lagos. It's worse to have such funfair posted on social media.
So I think that's
people should leave emotions
we have
out
to run
of
off there, but I think, yes, that's where she totally admitted what was wrong was posting it. It was wrong. Yeah, but we know all of us in our houses, somewhere, we all have these small gatherings of people. It's nice that, it's Funke Akindele, she's a celebrity, they posted it. But many of us are doing it, and it's wrong. We shouldn't have that gathering, we agree. But at the same time, she has admitted where she's wrong, and I think we should accept her apologies. But hey, Lagos State is empowered legally to arrest her. That's what has been done. So we'll see what happens afterwards. Okay, let's go on a break now. When we come back, hey, everybody's talking about 5G. This time last week, we had no idea what 5G was. Now, Lagosians are now experts on the 5G technology. When we come back, we'll now see exactly what is it, and is it related to this COVID-19? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, Nigerians woke up to a viral information spreading about 5G technology and its connection to the novel coronavirus. In fact, it generated quite a bit of controversy among social media users, onto the point where 5G was then listed amongst the top trending keywords on Twitter. Okay, so to give us better clarity, we have a Microsoft certified information technology professional, Yusuf Aweda. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Yes,
how are you? I'm
good to have you on the show. So this 5G technology, now, for those who, for whatever reason, didn't get a grasp of what was going on this weekend, just give us very quickly, what is this 5G technology and why is it needed at this time?
Okay, interesting. 5G technology is a type of a mobile network technology, and this cannot be comprehensively discussed without having to
Lost the audio.
No, it's delayed.
to travel back to history to capture the in the 70s, and of course, early 80s, we had the mobile technology, which is generation. This was pretty fantastic achievement because people could actually communicate through the wireless technology. It was great, but it had its own laxity, and it was pretty much of an analog kind of technology, which had a very, very poor voice quality, and of course, with very, very disturbing security and inclination as well. So this prompted the creation of 2G technology. So 2G technology actually gave us.
Oops. Okay, so we're having some issues with Skype as expected, but we might have to put a phone call through to him so that we can hear.
We have completed our course.
Mr. Aweda, I think we'll just disconnect that call right now and try to make an audio call to you so we can hear you properly. Right, so this is obviously part of the issues with 4G, 3G, because the idea is that when you have better bandwidth, we wouldn't have having this kind of issues trying to connect, have visual connections. Now, they've discussed the Internet of Things, the fact that what 5G, the world 5G opens up to us is the fact that we can then be able to control things, surveillance will be easy for government, there'll be benefits for us as people, it's easier for you to be able to use more things within your own environment and can have full control. But there's a question of, is that what COVID-19 is today? How do we link it with the issue of COVID-19? I mean, Nigerians have told, not only Nigerians, across the world, have objected to the installation of the 5G cable, no doubt. But the conversation I would like us to focus on today is, first of all, dispel the baseless argument, I would say, that 5G technology is connected to COVID-19. I'd like us to start with that.
Obviously, let's just make the elephant in the room and throw it out. 5G technology is not connected with coronavirus. That has been debunked by several authorities that are informed on this situation. So let's have that as a fact, and everybody that is at home should have peace of mind that 5G is not correlated. There are complications and challenges with 5G, which the experts would clarify for us, but it is not the reason we have coronavirus. There are two different things. The sad part is that most people that are spreading this fear are the religious and those of us of the Christian faith, linking it with Antichrist and the fact that this is end time. You see, time has been ending since before I was born. Actually, time has been ending thousands of years ago. So, yes, there will be a lot of things that would indicate that the world is coming to an end, but can we as religious people not push this narrative of fear and Antichrist linked with 5G and the fact that they'll be putting implants in people's body? Can we just tone it down and study our Bibles and spread just the word?
I wanted to move on to 5G, but now that we've gotten rid of the evidence, we want to come to
we're still talking about the 5G now. It's still 5G.
I want us to thrash the corona part of it and then focus on what 5G is.
Exactly. So for me, there is no correlation. There's no relationship between coronavirus and 5G. I think what is happening is that there are a lot of conspiracy theories because of how this 5G came about. It's a tussle of power. It's political as we speak. And so just because people are not coming out to say this is exactly how we feel about 5G not coming from us, it's coming from another country, is a tussle of power. That's what's happening. So, but then you now have people putting ideas into the minds of people, the Christians, the religious bodies, that this is the end and this is coming, just to make people panic and reject it. And the truth is, when this rejection is done at the end of the day, the underlining factor is that another body will still come up with this 5G, because at the way the world is going right now, we actually need a better internet to be able to have.
All right, so let me, whilst we're trying to get our expert connected, because we need him to help us understand the benefits and the pros and cons of this technology. Now, but what we've seen so far, what we know so far, okay, I think he's back now. Hello, sir, are you there, Mr. Aweda?
Sorry, I'm here with you.
Okay, thanks for joining us again. So, before you came back on, we talked about we wanted to dispel the argument that COVID-19 is correlated with 5G technology, and I'd like you as the expert to help us dispel that rumor.
You guys are very, very correct. There's no correlation. And in fact, such assertion has been regarded by WHO as infodemic. And it is as dangerous as pandemic that we are actually facing at present. So it has no basics in the science adventure, and it lacks basic human logic scientifically.
Okay.
So
now that we've gotten rid of that, I'd like us to now go back to this issue of 5G.
Okay,
now, the fear,
technology, yes.
Yes, the fear people are having is that these base stations will be installed 100 meters away from each other, and that means there'll be lots of them rolled out within residential areas, and there's no way this can be healthy for us. That is one argument. Second argument is it's going to make surveillance of government so easy that you practically don't have a private life anymore. So I'd like you to talk to those points and see, is this something that we need, especially in this part of the world?
Okay, I think it is important to discuss this academically. When you're talking about 5G technology, like I mentioned before the connection disappeared, we are talking about a mobile network technology. And prior to 5G, we've had 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and each of those generations are kind of a transformation and improvement of the previous technology. So the reason for the impending technology is to solve and fix the latency in the present technology. So 3G gave us live streaming like we do every day, all day. It gave us the privilege to be able to download movies online, send huge files online. 4G also came to actually fix some latency in 3G. Now we're talking about 5G. We're talking about huge technology, something that is about 35 times faster than 4G. We're talking about a situation whereby we can actually aid Internet of Things. You can actually get, for example, prior to the lockdown, some companies wanted to transfer their files, to the cloud so that they could work remotely. We're talking about 5 terabyte files, 10 terabyte files.
Mr. Weda, we understand that very clearly. Trust me, most of us have read these things online this weekend. My question is, in Africa, do we need to be able to control our lights from our car? Do we need this technology in Africa at this time? Is it something, aside where we are right now, we are still trying to accept and even adapt to 4G technology? Do we need that extra control in Africa at this time?
Okay. Of course, Africa does need it. 5G will open new world of intellectual adventure.
Yes.
We're talking about, we're having a pandemic now. If we had 5G, the treatment of coronavirus will be quite easier because we're talking about real-time communication, whereby doctors away from Nigeria, you look at what is happening in Italy. Doctors in Cuba to physically move from Cuba to Italy. If we have 5G technology, we can actually solve some medical problems remotely in real time. And 5G has come with its own distinctiveness. It has a low latency, meaning that you can actually get a feedback after communication to a technological network in 1 millisecond. This is pretty awesome. So it is a fantastic technology that we have to key into and look at a situation whereby you have to check the heartbeat of your child right from your phone. Look at a situation whereby you have to transfer 100 terabytes data to the cloud in a few seconds. We have to do it now, assuming we have a situation whereby...
Okay. Point taken. Let me go on a quick commercial break. Mr. Weda, I'll come back. We'll continue this conversation in a minute. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. We still have our guest on the phone, Mr. Weda. Are you still there? Mr. Weda?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, sir. So I would like you to tell us in plain terms the health implications of this 5G, because we have been told that with 5G comes with a lot of dangerous radiations that we'll be exposing ourselves to.
Okay. This is interesting. 5G and the mobile network technologies that had come before it are electromagnetic waves. Okay, so electromagnetic wave simply means that electrical energy and magnetic wave working together. And these are quite differentiated into different frequencies. And each frequency has its own range called spectrum. So the spectrum is further divided into two components. We have the ionizing radiation of the electromagnetic wave. And of course, we have the non-ionizing radiation.
Okay.
Now, the ionizing radiation has the power to display electron from an atom. It can actually alter a molecule. And when it does hit human body, it can actually destroy human cell. That's ionizing. But the technology we're talking about is not ionizing radiation.
Okay.
It belongs to the non-ionizing radiation. And we have microwave, we have radio frequency that the telecommunication companies use for the network technology, and we have ultraviolet waves. So that is an undisputable fact in the world of science. Nobody has debated that. So 5G technology is non-ionizing radiation.
All right,
client
point
technology.
taken. Okay,
All right,
go ahead.
thank you.
I'm happy you broke down the ionizing and non-ionizing, because I remember when we were discussing about X-rays, and the person that broke down X-rays said that when we do X-rays in the body, the reason you cover other parts is because it is ionizing. So, and this is a non-ionizing, and I think people should read more about it. But my question to you is, in terms of benefit, we haven't extensively enjoyed the benefit of the 3G
And the 4G.
across Nigeria, or even the 4G consistently across Nigeria. So why are we even speculating and jumping on the 5G bandwagon in Nigeria? And should we even be considering it, considering that it's extremely expensive to deploy as it is?
Okay, well, it's a thing that Africans have to key into 5G technology. You see, I was given a kind of a paradigm the other time. Like, for example, let us break this down into layman language. We are supposed to have a lockdown in the country, let's say in the next 10 hours. And you have internal server that handles the operation of your operations. That's about 10 terabytes. And you are looking forward to working from home. So you can't move 10 terabyte data file to the cloud within 10 hours using 3G and 4G. So with such limited time, with 5G technology, you are talking about communication at the speed of light, faster than the speed of light. So, and 5G is quite distinctive to other cloud technologies.
Mr. Aweda, what is more related to us? You know, in Nigeria, our own problems are different from... some companies in Nigeria are downloading 10 terabytes and all of that. But that is not what relates to us more.
In addition to what Tokwe saying, Mr. Aweda, for example, we don't have enough jobs in Nigeria. So the Internet of Things, for example, allows you to have electrical cars. For example, we need drivers to get paid. So we don't have that. The society we live in this part of the world is such that we still need to engage as many humans as possible. We're not in that first world community where they've practically handed over they are in the plans of handing the economy over to machines or to robots. So there is a difference, isn't there?
Okay. You are mostly correct. We may not necessarily deploy 5G in all our human endeavor. So there are some parts of our intellectual adventure that we still have to have humans handling them. But there are some aspects of our intellectual adventure that we need to actually deploy 5G technology. So we talk, for example, now, if you have a mother that is battling with some health issues, with 5G technology, you can monitor the heartbeat of your mobile from your phone. So we're talking about...
We're already doing that.
We can do that from our 4G, Oga. We can from our phone. We are doing that already.
Communication. Okay, so there's a huge difference, really. I understand your perspective that Africa may not quickly get adapted to this transformation quickly, but it's something that we should look forward into.
Thank you, Mr. Aweda. I really appreciate you joining us. We'll be speaking to Microsoft Certified Information Technology Professional, Mr. Yusuf Aweda. So it's been nice to hear Nigerians' views, because I know the NCC sent out a press release saying that they have not given out any license. But at the same time, they allowed the testing for the past 3 months for a few of the telecommunications companies. And I know I've also seen, unless maybe I'm not sure, 1 or 2 of the adverts running commercials where somebody is controlling switches in their house from outside. That is already preparing our mind for 5G. So when you tell us that you've not given approval, and some commercials are already...
So that was my shock with the government, because the government was quick to release that press release from the NCC that, oh, we don't have any approval, but there is approval for testing, which was not captured in the press release that we have already approved testing. People are already launching across Abuja, Lagos. And so people don't trust the government, because I got that press release, share people and say, no, that's not true. 5G is not in Nigeria. See what the federal government said. Only for me to now see that some people have already launched and is already being tested. So let the government take a decisive stand and let us have word from them real time explaining this, what we just got, the breakdown we just got about not having harmful effects on our body, because people are already saying that, oh, we're going to all die when they deploy 5G. They want to reduce the population of the world. All of these are in people's minds. So the only reason we would not will believe a lie is if the truth is not clear. So can we have the truth stated by the government?
I just wish that we are not copy. You know, like, because the outside world, they are accepting 5G now. We want to accept. Are we ready for 5G?
So
Do we
now
know
that
the
we are aware,
implications of
exactly.
5G?
So now that we Nigerians are aware of 5G, we'd like the NCC to come and tell us categorically what their plans are concerning. Are we doing it or we're not doing it? And if you are going to do it, when do you? Because whether we like it or not, at some point it's going to come.
Yeah.
But it's when? It could be 5, 10, 15 years. We don't need to discuss.
It can come
fact.
now if it's good for us.
Okay, that's all we can take on 5G. We're still going to be on that case because obviously Nigerians are still talking about it. We're going to try to bring us experts sometime later on to at least give us more clarity on Nigeria's perspective on this. But first, we're going to break. When we come back now, we'll discuss the post-economy of COVID-19. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So many are predicting that COVID-19 will launch the end of a lot of business in the economy. Things can never remain the same. We've heard of companies slashing salaries, which may eventually lead to downsizing. Is there a silver line for Africa? Could this be that need we need for, that push we need actually for internal production? We're supposed to be having a guest on the show, a member House Committee on Banking and Currency, Honorable Sada Soli. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Hello, sir.
Hi.
Honorable, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Right, so a lot of people have been worried about what happens after COVID-19, especially because money's been flying around all over the place. You know, federal government that initially we thought was broke, didn't have money, suddenly coughed out 15 billion naira, and they're doing relief packages left, right, and center. And we're thinking to ourselves, after all is said and done, is capitalism still going to be strengthened or weakened after COVID-19?
Well, there are so many scenarios. Yes, capitalism has come to stay. Is the order of the day. Certainly, the shock of the COVID-19 is quite shocking to international economy, and which affects domestic operations and also external operations. So certainly it will affect some level of capitalism, but not that it will weaken capitalism. It will rather strengthen capitalism because it will look some other aspect for it to survive. That is actually one dynamics of capitalism.
Okay, so people are saying that right now our number one commodity has been oil, and as we all know, oil prices went down considerably in the last few weeks. Now that most of the global economies have been close to us at this time, and we know the government have been telling us to look within, diversify, let's go to farming, let's do all the, let's generate internal revenue from our own country. In this post-COVID-19, do you think it would be a great, it would be an opportunity finally to get Nigerians to look within such that we don't need to engage China or any other country anymore for our marketing or supplies?
Well, you see, for us to get out of this, we must address our increased dependency on global economies for fiscal revenues, foreign exchange inflows, fiscal deficit funding, and capital flows required to sustain the national economy. One area of doing that is to diversify in the alternative priority sectors like agriculture, soil and mineral resources, manufacturing and the services sector. And then also we have to deregulate the petroleum industry, which will ease off this aspect of under recovery by the NNPC, which will save costs and then will ease up some revenue of government.
All right, sir. So my fear is that countries that would survive after COVID-19 will be countries who have invested in human capital.
Right.
And we're seeing that our infrastructures will likely fail us, our systems will likely fail us. But Nigeria is not in a place yet where our human capital has been built. Where does that leave us? Because the thing is, a lot of people will be losing jobs by the time we come out of this. A lot of people would have lost their investments, their money. A lot of people will be, left stranded. Where does that leave us? What can we do as an economy to help people start building that human capital that we have, ignored in the time past?
Well, if one aspect the government is looking at is the government is trying to approach the National Assembly with an idea of coming up with this 500 billion Naira Special Intervention Fund, which is in line with global best practice. That is about $1.2 billion.
For what, sir?
This special intervention will be injected into like our healthcare. You can see the challenge that we have our healthcare industry. You can see how it is exposed. So with this 500 billion Naira Special Intervention Fund, that the executive is trying to approach the National Assembly for, will upgrade our healthcare facilities, also will give intervention to state and strengthen some of our social, capital, human capital development aspects.
Honorable Sani, this is not the time to go on a spending spree, because our funds are going to diminish on a large scale. Let's not lie to ourselves, let's not lie to the people. When we take a loan now, there is a risk to it. The money we have should not be spent on frivolities and should not be spent on areas that cannot give us direct return on investment. Every economist will say the highest place you will get return on investment is when you invest in human beings in the education.
Capital, yeah.
So how are we...
I know what you are talking about. The U.S. has just passed a stimulus bill because
we
of
are not
COVID-19. Hold on, madam. They are taking loan. If you had heard the Trump yesterday, they are going to take loan for this. It is normal. But what I'm saying is this money, this 500 billion is not loan. These are monies that are in special accounts within the federal government. They need the approval of the National Assembly to mop up that money and then apply that money in certain areas where there is need to beef up the economy.
Okay, they are not
so,
loans.
Sir, you can understand Nigerians are really scared. Anytime we hear government bringing out 500 billion naira, that's a lot of money. We asked for $27 billion loan from the I think was it from World Bank, and it hasn't been approved. We are still having that issue. This 500 billion, we're scared that number one, it might fall into the wrong hands. Number two, that so far, if it's for COVID-19, there's already money on the table. I think it's about 25 billion already on the table, being donated from different parties towards the COVID-19. So when we are hearing the government saying they want to get 500 billion, when our situation in Nigeria is not even up to a fraction of what is happening in the US or Italy or Spain. So only 5 people have died so far. We have 223 cases. And we're asking for 500 billion naira for COVID-19. People don't understand it. So you say you're going to invest it in hospitals. At what point?
You see, these are monies that are lying down in special government accounts.
It's not a loan.
They will use this money to beef up to upgrade our healthcare facilities. Also, they will give intervention to some of these states. Remember, some of these states are broke. Remember, you can understand how the oil price now is less than $30. How do we get the money to help? So the federal government has to initiate certain initiatives in order to see that we can control some of these things.
Sir, so I want to ask the sincerity of using this money to build infrastructure. How will the money be monitored? How will we monitor that the money is used for what is said? Let's take, for instance, the infrastructure in Aso Rock, the hospital there, that we heard that monies were spent seriously to build that. And we heard rumors that they hardly had even paracetamol. So how, if we still hear monies flying, how are we tracking it? What is the measures what are the measures that are going to be put in place for us to see that these monies are actually used for the infrastructure we're talking about today?
I'm glad you're saying you heard, but it is ridiculous, it is laughable for somebody to say that the State House Hospital does not even have a paracetamol. No, come on, it's far from the truth. But the fact is this, yes, this money needs to be there. Then when they bring this bill, every aspect of it will be explained, and then we'll perform oversight functions on it, and Nigerians are open to check and find out whether this money was used properly.
Thank you, sir. So far, people don't believe that our leaders, our representatives, understand how the shoe is pinching the average Nigerian. Because
we do understand the feelings of average Nigerians, because we know we are coming from the nook and crannies of this country. Each 360 members of the House of Representatives,
fantastic.
They know the problems in our constituency.
But sir, our representatives are not living a life commensurate to the average Nigerian. Your income is still not commensurate to the average. So the good news is, congratulations, thank you. We appreciate you for donating 2 months' salary to us, to the Nigerian population.
50%.
50% of senators. The House of Assembly are giving 2 months' salary. We appreciate it. But long term, understanding that this situation is not going to change in the long term, what is the National Assembly doing? What is the House of Assembly doing to cut this expenditure within the Assembly? Our democracy is still one of the most expensive in the world, and we are a poor country.
Well, you always say this is always out there, but the fact remains. The National Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives, is doing a lot in order to see that we ease off some of these difficulties of Nigerians with regards to this COVID-19. Remember the bill which was passed by the House, which was presented by the Speaker himself. This bill was meant to give tax relief to corporations and enterprises in order for them to help them not to sack workers. Also, this bill was saying that was seeking for mortgage paying workers to have moratorium for the period of this COVID pandemic. And also this bill is seeking to see that at least certain aspects of life has been helping to see that we help an average Nigerian to live in a better life within the period of this.
Let me ask my final question to you, sir. Nigerians, this 500 billion naira request comes across as in bad taste. Let me tell you why. Because number one, we feel the timing is wrong. And if you're asking it on behalf of COVID-19, trying to, as a way to contain the COVID-19 pandemic, comes across to us as though it's insincere. Now, if Nigerians hear you tell us that you're asking for 500 billion because you want to fix our medical infrastructure, because obviously from COVID-19 we see that we need serious, is in comatose, and we need help. Now they can see that, okay, yes, you want to put money in the right place. But when you're saying 500 billion for COVID-19, automatically Nigerians are thinking, where is this money going to go? So maybe is the approach in which this money was requested for. Do you think?
You see, this is the normal thing. This is in line with the best global practice when there is a shock of economy in the economy, either a domestic shock or external shock. The parliament or the executive, they come together, sit down together to see how can they bring in some initiatives to mitigate the hardships of their fellow citizens. You see, this 500 billion, Nigerians should not have any concern about this 500 billion. This 500 billion will be judiciously used. And look at the challenges we have in our healthcare. Look at what's happening in the states. You see, the federal government is coming in to fill in the gaps in some of these states. Not necessarily look at our teaching hospitals. Look at the effort that is being made to strengthen the healthcare segment. This is what this 5
We've not seen any efforts, sir. Okay, and you know what? We have to run off, so, sir. Honorable.
It will give some intervention to some of these states.
Sir,
we'll keep monitoring that.
Have money to improve their healthcare sector.
Please just listen to us, because you know sometimes when people in the media talk, you might feel like you are on ground, but we are more on ground than you, and we are here to inform everybody, both the representatives and the layman. We know that the incentives are not gotten on ground. Yes. They are not enough. Yeah. That's the fact on ground.
We have to run, unfortunately.
More can be done.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sada Soli, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We'll definitely continue to monitor. So, you know what? I'm tired of saying I'll monitor the monies that they pass in the National Assembly, because we really don't ever know how these monies are spent.
Serap is still asking.
So hopefully we'll follow up with Serap. Yeah, let's follow up with Serap. Serap will be able to tell us how the money's been spent. That's all we can take on the show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.